that have been taken out by various price.
11 years is a long time, especially on television, but perhaps the most memorable moment came late in July of 1984. Tim had a simple enough task during a live weathercast from the Saratoga Flat Track: pick out of 2,400,000 names the winner of a Cadillac. He picked it, did that part just fine.
I didn't drop that, did I? Did I drop that? Or remember Sharon Ward? Remember her? She's in... I think I'd hate to have to go through 2.4 million of these and find Sharon Ward. I didn't think about that at the beginning. I lost it. Where is it? Sharon, hey, give me a call, Sharon, and I'll tell you what you wanted. I'll split it with her. Anyway, let's take a look at the statistics for the... I can't believe I dropped that.
Price Chopper sponsored the contest. They couldn't believe you dropped it either, Tim. It took over 2 months of searching to find it. Yes, sir, the years are certainly highlighted with a smattering of gems, like Tim learns to skate with fire as the ice capades come to town. Tim takes a nap on the job. He always seemed to land those cushy assignments, like talking to professional and amateur strippers. And he was as quick with the tough question as Matt Dillon was with a six-shooter.
I have a tassel act, which most men get a kick out of.
What kind of a tassel act?
Do little kids sometimes get scared coming up here?
Oh, very often. They're very scared.
Do they get so scared that they wet Santa?
Not everything Tim has done has been in jest. Let's face it, he's dealt with the one part of the newscast that virtually everyone is interested in, the weather. And there are times when the weather is anything but funny. And Tim often found himself in the middle of it.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's the end.
We will all remember Tim in various ways. I think I'll remember him best as the guy who dressed up as a groundhog to help illustrate Groundhog Day in 1977 and help illustrate Arlo Guthrie's song about groundhogs. Guthrie, in turn, helped Tim illustrate his story.
Hold it right there. Come on out of there. You a groundhog?
No, I'm a woodchuck.
You look like a groundhog.
As you will, sir.
Sound like a groundhog.
I sound like whatever you'll have me.
Well, what do you know about the weather?
Well, I know that on this date last year, the sun was shining brightly. And I saw my shadow, and I scampered back into this hole. But wouldn't you know it, we didn't really have 6 weeks of bad weather. We had 2 high-temperature records on the 11th and the 10th of March.
You don't say.
Groundhogs are a friend of mine. Groundhogs are a friend of mine. I like groundhogs most of the time. Groundhog. Groundhog. In his hole he's furry.
This is the effect of the Hudson Mohawk Volunteer Firemen's Association parade in Colony. At least 90 people have been felled by heat prostration in 90-degree heat and 60% relative humidity. Heat prostration is very simply the overheating of the body. The ability of the body to evaporate enough moisture through perspiration, have that evaporation cool down the body, has ceased in some of these people, and consequently the body is overheated. They've been brought here, and they're now being treated.
Thank you, Mac. The level of the Mohawk is down, but that did not stop Tim from taking a cruise on it today.
That ought to grab him.
Right by the old...
That'll hold him. Nobody...
They're building a lake in Dwaynesburg, in the middle of a forest. I'll tell you what for tonight.
Okay, Timmy, I'm
Okay. Terry, when was the last time you got laid?
Tim, I've had a very bad day.
I could see that, so I wanted to lighten it up.
Last time you got laid.
Now we'll do it.
And coniferous trees in the Northwest, you are planting your own survival in the wintertime. What a dumb thing to say. The winter winds from blowing into the house, through the cracks, the walls, and the... You stupid bastard. Leafy trees on the south and full evergreens on the northwest. This homeowner is able to use trees as a friend against the weather. And isn't he a smart son of a bitch? And that's no bullshit.
Just wouldn't order it.
Although on second thought, it does.
You didn't have to pay for this, did you?
No, I wish they'd tell me what I liked. Jim, would you like some? I didn't mean to leave you out.
No, I'm glad you did.
Okay, well, I just thought that was kind of interesting that we got that.
It's starting to grow on me. It does have a certain, literally, je ne sais quoi.
Well, I didn't want to eat it and have to try and read for the rest of the show.
Okay, can I give you that? Can you bury it? Might reproduce itself. Oh, that's the Chuck E. Cheese.
Next year, everybody will be eating these.
Yeah, I hope not. Onward.
They don't name it after me.
They won't name it after you. In 1979, Sally Field won an Oscar for her portrayal of a union buster named Norma Ray. Well, now Field is in another movie, one already acclaimed as one of the year's best. And again, she's an underdog, a Depression widow left with a mortgage farm, which isn't funny, and 2 children. In New York, Sally told entertainment specialist Dan DiNicola she's happy playing plain.
But you know, cities generate their own heat. For instance, New York City has 630 watts per square meter that it generates on its own. Did you ever notice how New York City is about 3 or 4 degrees warmer than it is around here? Well, that's the reason. The buildings being closer together and the cars being closer together act as a baffle against the wind. The wind ordinarily robs the city of its heat. For instance, Los Angeles puts out only 21 watts per square meter of heat on its own. So I suppose that if you lived in a city and it was wintertime and it was windy, you'd be a lot better off as far as your heating bill was concerned.
One of the snow sculptures the people over the higher elevations might copy tomorrow is this full-scale VW fashioned in January by the 4 teenagers of Mary Backus of Johnsonville. You see, they live in the hill country of Rensselaer County, an area which cools down faster, and tonight changed most of the rain to snow. Mary Backus said somebody even made an offer on the frozen bug before they found out the paint was just red food coloring. Now here's a frozen object no man can duplicate, a natural ice formation that looks an awful lot like an elephant to me. Joanne Hewlett of Ballston Spa looked out in her backyard after a freezing rainstorm and saw that the creek there had given birth to a pachyderm on a fallen tree. I recommend you go to the higher ground tonight and make a snow creature, 'cause it's great packing. Ice in Tinseltown? 5 inches of hail piled up on Malibu today as very heavy thunderstorms roared quickly over Southern California. It wasn't that there was so much rain. 2.5 inches by our standards is just a good downpour, but hail clogged storm sewers and recently burned brush couldn't absorb any of the runoff. Funnel clouds? The LA Weather Service never puts out a tornado warning, but they did today for Long Beach.
It's just amazing. I lived here for 30 years. I've never seen a tornado.
And now, Al Sanders Film Productions presents The Squash That Ate Colony, starring Frank Barassa as the planter, John Boudreau as the neighbor, and Tim Welch as the squashee.
Rolling on all of it, Al.
Let's see if we can pick this thing up. Wait a minute. It's too much of a bite. All right. That's all.
Hey. Oh, this poor wheelbarrow ain't gonna. We just reduced its life expectancy.
Wait a minute, now get the flat spot down.
Now, suppose you hold it, Tim. I'll push it up the hill.
What are you having for dinner tonight, Frank?
Wash.